Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Fireside Casts as we continue our coverage of Invite. And we are continuing our coverage of Low Invite as well, as we are looking at that second group stage of the bottom four teams. Tonight, it's going to be Rome versus the government. And I am joined by a special guest, a first-time appearer on Fireside Casts. Matt, how are you doing?
First side of this table, actually. I've been interviewed many times on this channel. I'm quite good at the game. It's nice to be here. I was actually having a lovely evening, and then Jay came to my house and held a gun to my head and told me you're casting shit matches of Invite. So here I am.
Yup, and I guess, well, full disclosure here, there's a couple names here that both Matt and myself are quite familiar with Steve and Loaf on either side of the coin being former teammates of ours. So I suppose if we are biased in one way or another, it's going to be a little bit split at the very least.
Yeah, no, I'm very biased. I'm really looking to see those guys flop on their faces and fail hard tonight.
You know, I gotta disagree on this. I mean, I'd be rooting for a Mopsy win for sure. Be nice to see Loaf take the dub here, especially since like these guys had like roster troubles kind of throughout the whole season. Just securing a med here, a pocket scout there, just difficult classes to fill. I know Loaf was a late addition, so I mean that definitely shapes the matchup a little bit in some sense because we did see Rome upset a former version of the government.
Mm-hmm.
And in retrospect, maybe not so much of an upset, I guess, because Rome have definitely kind of pulled out as a cut above. But I don't know how much weight that former match has, considering it's kind of a different setup here for the government.
It has zero weight. I'm just going to tell you straight up. It has zero weight. Rome has proven themselves time and time again, winning many matches. Frankly, they shouldn't have won. Tonight, that all changes. Mopsy's the glue. New medics in. Roster's locked. Here we go. This is it for the government. If you have money, put it on the government.
They are actually remarkably close. I know you want to do the match. Well, not fixing, but you're playing the tables. You know how like the guys who run like betting sites and all that, they don't actually care what the odds come out as. They just care that like basically the same amount of people bet on each side. And I see you trying to work that because the money is pretty even at the moment.
I do appreciate that. However, I do just want to see great TF2, and government will bring it. So place your bet on the government. End of story.
I will disclose my Rome bet at the moment.
Okay, cool.
We are in Snakewater, first and foremost. This is the best of 3 because it's that second half of the season, like kind of playoff-y sort of structure. Weird. I don't know how it works. I know Manicute explained it thoroughly last night, and I just couldn't fully grasp it. But it is a best of 3. And map 1 is Snakewater. I didn't look at the pick bands. I'm trying to pull that up right now. Who do you think is favored here on Snakewater?
Favored on Snakewater, I think the team that can perform better aggressive mid has it in the bag. And I want to say I'm going to give that actually to the government. Unironically this time, Loaf, very impressed with Soldier, known him for a while, has some just lovely, spectacular bombs. I think he's going to put those on display on these mids and secure his team a couple mid to last rounds, which are crucial because the stalemate on last itself is relentless. There's absolutely no space. You got nothing. The mid to last is your real round winning play.
Yeah, and just having a couple of those in your pocket is definitely going to be really useful over the course of a match. Okay, I do have the maps open. So it's Snakewater map 1, Sunshine map 2, so we're guaranteed a Sunshine, and then Bagel map 3. Now, Bagel is a curious map, and that's actually... I cannot tell whose pick it is, but I would assume it would be Rome's pick because they're higher seeded, so I guess they picked 2 maps, if I had to guess. Yeah, Rome had a shaky start on Koth. for the start of their season, but they were able to cinch out some really nice wins actually on Bagel in particular, like against FGP.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I'm going to be curious to see if Mig runs quickies on Bagel. I haven't been following close enough to know that by heart, but I would be really curious to see if those have any value at all, for its complete shit.
Snakewater mid as well. Mig is a fan of quickies.
Very true.
I do agree that I think they're bad. I mean, I understand the vision. There's been a couple mids I've played against a quickies demo where just like I'm kind of just autopiloting and I get hit with one for like 80 damage and then suddenly I just get to die.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks. But unless you just insta kill their demo, then you're really in a position where you just have an inferior weapon, honestly, because once you fire those shots, you are just a little bit screwed. Yeah.
Having spoken to Loaf, that's actually one of the things I've actually been impressed with, is his ability to understand that Mig is the quickies demo and set counterplays to that. So I'll be curious to see if they do any like quick aggression on Mig in particular, or something to punish him on these Snakewater mids that'll leave him as a weak spot with those quickie bombs.
Yep. And I am curious. Sunshine, we have seen. So Mig as well, aside from using quickies, is a bit of a pioneer of the Scottish Resistance last.
Mm-hmm.
Sunshine is definitely one you can run it. You have kind of all the workings you need to. I mean, the big one just being you can sit and spawn and just stare at your stickies through windows.
True.
But we also saw in grand finals of Invite Banny running Scottish Resistance on Sunshine before, who I am assuming was inspired by Mig, having like demo reviewed with that team before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see if the Scottish Resistance gets pulled out at all.
Wow, your inner Scott with the rolling R, that was beautiful, Rumpus. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I honestly, as far as last holds are concerned, I don't know if it's the Sticky Bomb launcher that's going to make the big difference here. What will make the difference? VO on that Brass Beast. We've seen it before.
True.
I'm really hoping we're going to see it more tonight.
He's a believer.
Fantastic holder with the Brass Beast. I got to give him kudos for that.
Absolutely. And it just works. I don't really know what to say. And there's times where like you'd think the, 15 or whatever percent difference it makes with the Tomislav, you'd think that you would see like that percent difference of holds to fails, but there's just some like mystical quality to it. Like there's just some higher power where it's like it just always holds. I don't know what it is.
Rumpus, I'm curious, who do you think has better stamina as far as this match is concerned? If this goes the distance, who do you think will be coming out on top as far as mental headway and overall playability as the match continues?
That is an interesting question because the times that I see Rome play, a lot of it just seems like
be honest,
kind of meltdown TF2 to a little degree.
Okay.
Where, and maybe part of that is a lot of it is spent watching Gadilly's POV in particular because he's the one who streams.
Yep.
But it's just a lot of like when things are going wrong, they just seem to be going very wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But they also kind of like thrive in that to some degree. It's just the chaos and meltdown. Like they are not in control per se, but at least like comfortable with that type of environment. Versus the government, when things go wrong, it seems to go very wrong. It kind of feels like, from what I've seen of the team, that Mopsy either glues it all up and fixes all their problems, or at least like is the therapist to sort through everything, or all 5 players would just go their separate ways and just explode outwards.
I think it really will be a tale tonight of VO versus Mopsy/Loaf. I think Loaf is going to be bringing a lot of gameplay knowledge to the table. If he can keep that up over the course of the entire night, I think they're going to stand a much better chance map to map. And VO, really just, I don't really know who he's playing. It's just a coin flip on what VO we get map to map. We might get a super insane crazy VO and we might get Banny. So really looking forward to seeing what he's able to bring map to map here tonight.
Very true. Yeah, I guess the exciting thing about tonight is while I do still think it's Rome favored for sure, It is literally just like both of these teams can play so well or so not well. So we'll see where things fall in that regard.
I'm looking for the not well. I want to see crazy explosion, fireworks, TF2. I want to see crazy shit going on.
That's definitely entertaining, I'll say the least. As long as it's still competitive, that's all that really matters. We are rolling out, however. Score predictions for map 1 here.
I'm gonna give it 4-1 Rome.
I was gonna say the same thing, actually.
Oh, well, pick a new score, buddy.
Nope, I'm sticking with it. So we are on the first mid. Looks like double stock sticky bomb launcher.
Yeah, very disappointing.
And dead aggro on point early on. Neither team committing to too much quite yet. Just poking and prodding around. You're pressuring bomb in from Steve now. Maze actually dying.
It's a free pick on Maze, yep. Soldier behind Insaw will pose a wrap threat. Steve getting on 2 picks. Insaw gets another. Believe lower. Seems clean. They're out. That's a mid for Rome.
Pretty easy, honestly. Just the early Maze pick, they're able to convert that, and convert that very well, getting extra picks on players leaving, which is going to just secure the free second point. And look at this, the pace.
Very fast pressure in the last. This is fantastic. Getting people through the doorways. Dad's got to do a really good job here pressuring people away. He's doing a good job. And that's it for Vio. Goodbye.
Yeah, didn't even send a sack there. Just didn't like what they saw. So at this point, we will go into a more standard type of non-pace, just setup for a sack, I suppose. And it's starting with Steve through Shutter here.
And
Crazy
Vio.
is, oh, what a rocket. Crazy just gets sat down by Steve.
Yep.
And now point pressure as well. Vio has commit.
Fantastic. Vio
does
has
die for the point, but it's a trade.
Zone.
This is looking very good for Rome so far. They have plenty of players left for the post. Cat pressure coming in. Darty dies for it, but they're trading out the picks. It's
Meg
still
should be
looking,
able to win this, yep.
as long as he has stickies, which he has some. Oh my god, the Uber Saw.
No
Uber Saw
ammo.
gets 2.
Surely
Wait.
not. Alright, thank God.
That was so close.
Very interesting. Fantastic pressure from Vio there. Really good opening. You saw it. Shutter able to work that pick with Steve. Of course, great rocket from Steve. But I think getting that scared through the door there is actually the big play.
Yeah, and then the point pressure just puts on such a big problem for government there that they just have to get people on point to respond, and then suddenly it's just trades down.
I'm going to pay a little bit closer attention to Maze this mid, see if he just ate some unlucky damage, or if Rome actually exploited his positioning to some level to get that pick.
Mopsy, pretty aggro across point early on. Pretty active. Scouts actually gets the pick on the
rewarded.
Vio. And just like that, it's kind of a reverse of last time around.
Absolutely.
Rome is kind of
positioning
lingering, though.
is very poor for Rome. Frisbee could easily get caught here if they aggress. They're not.
They do leave. And pretty measured response, actually, from government. Not getting that same collapse. And Rome, as a result, are able to hold on to their second here.
Meg is actually caught in Africa here. That's a big pressure window for Mopsy if they can take it. Looks like they are not pressuring as hard as they'd like. That's okay.
We do have attempted fast counter sack here. Frisbee is through and actually just gets the force. Wow. I guess a good... There's no way that first rocket did the full 100, right? There must have been some spam involved. But in any case, that does use. And we're actually looking at a pause here.
Yeah, after getting forced like that, I would definitely just be rage pausing, asking my med what the hell happened.
I mean, so far, definitely... So not only Rome just up one on the board, but we saw basically a flipped scenario on mid where Rome was able to capitalize and government wasn't. Where Rome, off just an early scout pick, were able to catch the players leaving, get aggro when they needed to, and convert that into a second point as well. Versus government kind of lingered a bit, gave Rome the opportunity to just leave and, evens on 2 instead of last.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic adjustment. I really liked the positioning. Mopsy's team was able to play that entire mid. I think it really put Rome in a really tough spot. And I think the scarier thing is that they didn't even pick a very good leave timing. It seemed like that was a very shoe-in mid for Mopsy's team, and Rome didn't quite understand that. Yeah. I think as mids develop, if Mopsy's team can start to recognize that more, we're going to see mid to last mids instead of whatever that one pick mid was.
Yeah, because that linger is just like you mentioned, Frisbee was pretty caught there, and that was after the team actually did decide to start leaving. Before that happened, like Meg, I wasn't paying strict attention to Gadilli, but most likely Gadilli as well. Multiple players would have been caught that are much more valuable than just like a trickling soldier that would have round implications potentially.
Yep.
But you got to capitalize on those first.
Speaking of implications, what do you think the implication of this pause is? What's going on here, Rumpus?
I mean, traditionally, a pause means that a team wins a round, and the other team's just taking attack to, halt momentum, talk things over. In this particular case, I mean, either team could be posed to like theoretically take a round, 90 seconds in the future. Not to like super metagame it or whatever, but obviously Rome with this ad are going to be wanting to push into mid, cap that midpoint, and depending on how fast they are, I mean they're already moving to do that, so they should be able to get second as well. And if they're super fast, last, but that's highly unlikely. On the flip side, though, I mean, government have chances to do things. Of course, Snakewater is like a notoriously flank active map, and a back cap could pose a real problem, including a potential round if it's not dealt with appropriately.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing I do want to bring up, though, Low Forge in the mental fires that is young age TF2 Pug servers, I do think that he is bringing a mental aspect to this game that we haven't seen. I think this is an ice out pause from Loaf right away.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's icing these players out. I know Darty, Rome, all these players. Steve, in particular, is a huge, just crack under the pressure player. Absolute explosion. I think that Loaf is getting to him right now in chat.
We'll see. I'm gonna have to actually see the chat after because I think it's the first time they've been playing a match against each other.
He's not.
That would be lovely to see the old main beef.
Yep. Who has the better heavy?
They never played Soldier Duo on any of our teams, did they?
No, they did not.
One on Scout, one on Soldier. That's unfortunate. They could be... That could actually be a potential nightmare, depending on the team setup. In any case, we are seeing Rome on... Ooh, and just like that, Loaf immediately getting the force as they enter through lower. So all that I was saying about potentially even getting second, maybe even pushing further, is kind of off the table. However, Mopsy does go down. So 2 picks for Rome that they can potentially pressure into second with. Of course,
Steve pressuring through Saw might just get a pick on Loaf here. Crazy, and he is able to get that. That should open up a lot of space, and they are taking it.
Yeah, and that's... so Loaf is spawned now. It's only 2 picks on last, but Rome actually just getting what they wanted here. So it is, of course, ad for blue. Can't tell. My HUD's messed up. Rome is pressuring in now. It looks like a double sack.
Jet
Decent
very
pressure on the mid.
Caught in that doorway. That was very scary for him. That could have been very poor for the Mopsy team, but he is able to hold on there. And now we're in a counter-sack position for Rome.
Yeah, it is barely even ad because of that force, or both forces coming so close together. Counter-sack is in from Loaf, super skyboxed.
Making great space through bats, really opening up the doorways for the Mopsy team here, and they are taking
They're just like
pressure is fantastic.
Fully drying this. Rome is backing up towards lower. Decent spam as well onto Gadilli, who does have to back up a little bit. Counter bombs are coming in, gets the force.
Super. There's so many red players on point, this could be really bad for Rome.
Ooh, oh, but look at that times 2 on
there's
last.
a back cap.
Yeah, Darty found a nice little moment to slip past there.
I really wanted that to go well for the Mopsy team because I was loving the way they were pressuring through those doorways. Loaf knew that there wasn't Ubers in that fight just yet, so he could make space without the risk of just being Ubered on. And they did a great job of getting the force out and putting Rome in a tough spot to where they had to trade. I guess they just weren't doing a very good job watching the flanks there, and it gave Darty that opportunity to make a round-winning back cap.
Yeah, it's tough because, of course, you don't want to just have a player sitting around doing nothing, watching some random door, but you want them to help. But the longer that fight goes on, the more necessary something like that is.
Absolutely.
We are looking at mid number 3 now. And like just absolute height control from Mopsy at the moment. And actually, Meg is now interested in shooting Mopsy, who then goes down to 20 HP, has to back up and re-heal, and the soldiers are taking that opportunity to bomb in.
Great surf from Daffodil, getting out through Cat there.
Ooh, yeah, that's actually a insane survive. In any case, it is still a confident mid here. That's caught on bats. Rome might be able to just convert this all the way with that fresh demo pick.
It's going to be up to Mopsy here to either get some miracle hold on these doors or take an exchange potentially to secure their last here. Actually, Rome slows down the pace. Yeah, it's okay. Never mind. Just kidding.
That is curious. I mean, you know, up 2 rounds, you can't fault a safe decision. But with the demo pick, I mean, you'd imagine there'd be solid plans, things you can accomplish there. But we are back to evens on last. And immediately the lower pressure is able to just pick up Loaf, shove from Theo and Steve there. And that's a nice little opportunity here. Gun is still going up, so at the moment it's pretty passive by spawn. Steve peeking lower actually sees the gun, starts spamming it. Ooh, this is a fantastic timing.
A little bit of a right
for
lobby
Rome.
pressure here. They're taking it again. Vio's deep through that shutter. He is so extended. I really hope Blue makes an action here. They are giving all the space in the world.
Oh, and that
He's
cap
on that
time.
point, and it's just a wow. That is an insane amount of cap time. The
That
way
is
Pop comes
almost
in,
just, that's the kind of cap time that just like wins a round straight up. Because I know Rome are down 2 players here, but it's still so scary because Steve just bombing in onto point, just like that, literally.
Yep, exactly, yep. Yeah, and the taunt, screw this kid, man.
Oh, wow.
God damn it. Hate to see Steve win around like that, but really good for Vio to recognize that the point is so open. And Mopsy just giving so much space on that left doorway. I don't know if they need Det rotating earlier or what their solution is, but they really need to get a control of that shutter.
Especially when they have Uber as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Rome really solidifying their lead here. And it's early as well, only about 7-ish minutes into this 3-up for Rome. But, I mean, Government's had solid mid so far. I mean, we do see decent spam here on Darty. Nice high ground control at the moment. Mopsy and Maze both doing a good job of just peppering around, taking that space, progressively working their way forward as well.
Really just looking for an opening. Soldiers in, Steve landing in, saw counter soldier bombs. Great rocket from Loaf there, getting the pick onto Vio.
We do have a soldier behind as well. Does commit, gets the med. Just like that, and actually gets a trade with Frisbee as well.
Fantastic for Crazy.
Absolutely. So scout capping 2, Crazy did of course just die, so they are down 2 at the moment, but they're already pressuring forward. They're peeking into this last. Frisbee and Gadilli are on late spawn, so these players on last do not have heals, they do not have buffs. Potential to maybe work some type of spam. Of course you have to worry about the sniper.
I do want to see them get through left a little bit here. The sniper isn't posing a threat. Hopefully Loaf can see this, and they are starting to take it. That is a gun behind truck they're going to have to deal with. They are not quite. Hopefully that doesn't make this post too scrappy. They're on the right looking for picks. They find Darty. They're looking for Frisbee. Will they find it? They find Frisbee. They're ending on the right. Their positioning is good here. Hopefully they can convert a double bomb, play the point, cross. Maze dies to a pipe.
Ooh, they're very worried about Steve behind lobby. Mopsy is on the chase and does get the pick, so they still have some breathing room again. This gun needs to go down, however.
3 picks. Mopsy's in a little early.
Yeah, it does just commit on the med there as they leave. So that fight was looking fine still, honestly.
Yeah, looking
if anything,
really great.
I mean, the gun does just, of course, need to go down. But even despite that, it was still looking solid.
You know, if I'm a team leader, I'll take 3 picks over a gun in an Uber 100% of the time, no questions asked. It's strictly how they played that post. I think they didn't really take a recoil interval that they needed, instead choosing to go back, which was also fine. They got that pick. They just weren't able to convert it into a round with Mopsy dying a little early there.
Meanwhile, Ubers have evened out at this point. We do see an exchange on point. More flashes for the red team, and scratch that. Oh, still more flashes for them. So longer Uber for blue. Bombs are coming out, and Loaf just landing on Gadilli gets that pick.
Perfect positioning.
And it's a tale as old as time. A team wiping effectively on Snakewater 2, and most likely losing a round for it.
Soldier fighting lower, gonna try to stop 2. Yeah, that's Steve for you. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice try, Steve.
If they got the cap on 2, then it's like they have a hope at least. But
yeah, that's their only chance. I kudos to Steve for going for it, but grow up. That was ridiculous, man.
Many a team has lost a round taking a sketchy fight on their own too. This map, and Government putting themselves on the board.
I think this is really, these mids have shown themselves to be controlled by early damage and openings. I'm gonna get on Det's cam, see if he can open anything up for the team here.
Taking an early stick is not great, but playing the spam so far fine. Getting healed up now. Do you have Def? Kind of passive in lower, just cutting out that bomb. Steve just landing to trade with Death there. Valuable trade for Rome. Crazy with the counter bomb. Gets solid damage on point, but the picks just aren't coming in. In fact, they are coming in for Rome. So we do see Mopsy probably caught here, doesn't die. Loaf just trying to leave with the medic. And going to be slight ad for Rome as a result. We'll see if they do something off that. Surely they're going to pressure off the picks, though.
Another even Uber at last situation for the government. Another opportunity to learn how to counter Shutter. Let's hope they learn from their mistakes from last time here. And Dead's got stickies on it. That is what we like to see.
That is nice. And yep, the spam drop down is sufficient as well. And just like that, they're able to stall out for the spawns, force Rome to rotate out, think up a new plan. Looks like they're tanking Frisbee here, most likely to sack through the door. And just like that, the spam is just too brutal. Frisbee goes down without much of a fight.
Let's see where this counter comes from.
Already behind, deep behind as well.
Yeah, I love this behind counter on this map. It's so brutal getting through these doorways. Crazy in now on the medic. One rocket.
Nice rocket.
Good serve from Gadilli to keep the Uber.
Yup. But so far, I mean, the counter sack was definitely better from Crazy than the sack was from Rome. Of course,
absolutely.
It's typically much easier to sack, as we do see Mig just deep peeking that actually.
Very lucky.
Very risky to say the least. Eating a ton of spam, but also just the sniper scoped in from left spawn. And yeah, on a map like this, I mean, a sniper in the spawn can adequately hold a door, so that's something you have to consider how you play around.
I really like this sniper left shutter adjustment from the government. I think this is really going to control the left half of the map. And Low finding 2 picks in lobby, that is both soldiers down. That's a big opening into second tier for the government. Let's see what they do with it.
100%. That is a lot of spam just off the table. That means doors are much easier to get through. Loaf, of course, just peeking lower, trying to get these scouts off height. There are traps on bridge and bats, and Loaf does find the traps on bats. Just like that, Rome actually doing a solid job of holding on.
Both soldiers down now for the government. This is arguably a worse spot to be than the VO was just 10 seconds ago.
Oh, my eyes are on Frisbee, who's through the left. Oh, actually, just the entire combo rotates through. They are getting solid spam on point, and notably on the medic as well, who just has to use 17 HP. Both soldiers die for it. Rome does have to use, and actually Meg eating some damage. But just look at all this cap time. Rome's so consistent at getting all this cap time, forcing these players on point, although the picks are going in the favor of government at the moment. Look at how weak these Rome players are just on the floor.
Mig will be caught. Doherty and Gadilli should have a fine leave, but that was a good post played from the government there. I think that was VO getting a little too antsy on point, and Rome generally not taking good enough positioning to facilitate that cap play.
True.
And a refight through top right here. This is very shocking. I don't understand what this is, honestly, at all.
I'm also shocked that no one was caught there. But they are able to get out unpunished. Uber's still even here. And we will be going back to some even Uber's gameplay. Oh my god, Steve just bombing in Pain Train. He is a big fan of the Pain Train, and that is scary cap time. That's the kind of cap time that Rome might want to just exchange, get in the door, do something over, and yeah, we do see this full shutter shove.
In this classic immediate exchange from the government. I love that.
Theo just runs past the point and caps.
They missed their objective.
Yeah, both soldiers were weak in that, just chipped off holding the doors in that respawn interval. The exchange came in, but it just wasn't enough to hold off players from capping.
I like the adjustment. That was just, that's a hard situation to be put in with the 99% cap time exchange sort of deal. I do like the adjustment, though. I think Rome generally has been having too easy a time getting through that doorway on even Ubers, and I think that exchange is going to pose a threat for future rounds to come.
True. So on this mid, Gadilli eating some early spam, but going to be regenning that off now. Steve is high bombing in, committing as well, landing on Det, just instantly blowing himself up. No assist needed.
And the Romer death again. Wow.
Romer exploding here. Darty might be able to get a trade here lower, will not, and it's just Gadilli on the retreat against 5 advancing players. Ooh.
Oh.
Good damage from Crazy as well.
I hope Crazy is able to clean this up. Oh,
Gadilli might be able to get back to spawn.
Wow. It's a great lift from Gadilli if he's able to get here. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, a little incoherent aggression from the Rome side there. Some questionable bombs, to say the least, from Steve in particular. I'm not really... I hope they're able to clean that up for Mitsukama.
Oh, and they're playing the ad as well. They are just in. No second point capped yet. So Steve's going back to stop and is doing a... Oh my god. Hits the rocket and actually kills Mopsy. Theo chasing Lobby on the retreating Daffodil will be able to live At this point, Vio's just doing a job of, or doing his best at stopping 2.
He gets
Doing a good
kill.
job at that. Wow. Loaf dies, and I mean, this is a winnable fight for a scout. Oh, it's a 1 fight for 2 scouts, as government will just leave. Yeah, heads up play there from Steve on stopping 2. Able to kill that scout, capping, and just secure the hold.
Exactly what he wanted to do last time, this time more successful. That is absolutely a round hold. And a nice little live situation, I don't know, fly on the wall, weird insect play from Vio there. I'm not sure what that was all about, but kudos to him for the live and free loaf pick. That was awesome.
So it is still ad for government, and they are taking space with it. Of course, Rome is respecting this, backing up. Steve actually living on 7 HP there as Frisbee does go down. So, yeah, government have a pick that they can sack into last with here as Ubers have evened out.
I want to see fast pressure here. We got Loaf through the doorway, Crazy through the doorway as well. All of them very close to that shutter. Gadeli getting popped up into the air, no force. Nice serve from him yet again.
True. Now counter sack time for Rome. Looking like a Vio committing through underneath. Actually wins the 1v1 against Mopsy somehow. And now there's a scout behind, although Crazy is spawning, rolling out. Darty on bats is going to die. And now the scout behind is a big liability and actually dead.
Yes,
so,
very big.
Weird play. I mean, weird. It's fine to have the scout behind, I suppose, but then like the full commit forward losing players, now it's down a ton. I mean, no sentry gun on last because both scouts are dead. But government are really not capitalizing. They are trying to get through now, but these players are very weak. Loaf getting headshot as well to the spawner does die. And somehow, with what was looking like a great opportunity for really deep pressure, government just lets it slip.
You know what? Vio might be building the gun right now, but he might do some crazy run in and shit again. I'm on his cam, and he's not doing anything crazy, whatever. Steve dies in the counter. Such is life.
Loaf is up on Sniper.
Oh!
So you might see some Sniper v Sniper.
Don't see this too often. Here we go.
I haven't seen it too often either. So, on whatever that team name was when Loaf was on Flank Scout, did he snipe much?
Loaf was on Flank Scout on, what was that, the Kyle Fletch show?
No, I'm blanking out. There was the advanced team after that died because...
Cheeseburger Ownage.
Cheeseburger Ownage, yes.
Yeah, no glue. I don't recall. Loaf Sniper's a treat, and little lore here. Been playing a lot of Counter-Strike with Loaf. Hopefully we can see his opping skills come into play here.
Not an opera, though.
Did you see that 1v4 on Mirage where Macron
was that
baited?
an
That was a scout. Same thing.
Yeah, basically the same thing. Well, going for the shutter peak, the one where you just have that one really nice sight line, but does not get the kill. Gadili just baiting kind of at the bottom of the stairs where it's a little harder to see through the shutter. And Sniper absolutely confirmed now. They know for sure. Darty is counter-sniping. And deep peeking top right. Just looking for an angle. But, that is holding that down pretty securely.
Oh, nice body shot onto the soldier there. Gonna pad out his stats. Soldier's not concerned at all. And Loaf goes down. Thank God.
Looks like Steve tried to catch some players leaving lower lobby, but did get spammed out there. Now it's counter-sack time for Rome.
Bomb.
Nice timing on the counter, but yeah, just wasn't able to line up with where the med was at the moment. And Loaf running the off-class gambit.
Oh, I love
going
this.
Spy this time around.
I love this. Loaf has a sick spy. I'm looking to see some Matadors, and we have a trade actually.
Oh. So far, no counter pop at all. Gun only just now going down, and Rome might just not have to use at all.
Yeah, they used that Uber to peek the door. They don't even need a pop to do that.
Suddenly, this is kind of a really nice spy timing. I mean, of course, Rome has to be at least a little scared of it. Loaf was just on Sniper. Okay, the sentry gun part. One of the sentry gun explosion bits disappeared, but not all of them. Vio's actually constructing a sentry. Oh, they're just playing the reset.
Oh, grow up, Vio.
Okay. I mean, fair. It makes sense. And we do have spy calls. Loaf is actually back on bats here. Now, honestly, like, a spy getting cap time into another trade might be valuable just to secure that overtime. Avoid that reset, maybe.
Loaf
just dies.
decloaks right in front of Steve and gets sat down. That was
Decent
embarrassing.
cap time, but the counterpop's going to be way better from Rome. And they do just have a buffed Grass Beast.
Snowball's chance in hell of getting this round.
Gonna be a hold.
Good config play from Rome. Little pathetic, but whatever.
I mean, on the flip side, though, like, how many true sacks did we see from government? Like, they played the sniper, but really only got the sniper, like, one shot.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe two.
Hopefully, so, like, the Loaf snipers are tired for the rest of the series after that.
That was a big waste of time, I'll say. And I'm only saying that because I'm friends with Loaf.
No, I'm saying that generally.
Well, we are on another mid here, off the heels of a reset. And so far, it's starting like all the others have, although this time around, Dart is slipping behind.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what he's up to.
All the way behind is spotted. Ooh, Frisbee actually dying in left lane to Loaf. Steve bombing in. Oh, man. Steve had the perfect timing, but just couldn't get the pick. And when the Maze walked lower to take the fight with Darty, Steve just bombed in, but somehow unable to connect. And with that, pretty free mid for the government and a free second at that. Gonna be even Ubers on last.
In my time playing Team Fortress 2 Snakewater mids, don't know if I've seen a scout go for the kitchen play before. That was new to me.
You know, there was a... Oh, we do have a VO on Spy out of his own last, and this is not working at all. Well, never mind. Gets the drop. I was about to say it's not working because I was looking at Loaf bombing in and just in Gadili's face, but no, the Spy timing absolutely worked. So this should be a free second point for Drone at the very least. Mopsy gets spotted and killed. Yeah. So on your note about the scout running behind, I think in like a Lazy Purple How to Play Spy or some YouTuber video like that, they talk about a Snakewater mid where they just did that.
Really?
Maybe Darty, a TF tuber connoisseur, taking a page out of that book.
Yeah, no, I honestly haven't really had time to catch up on my missed TF2 YouTube videos. I'm gonna have to definitely do a little deep dive and check out some Snakewater mid YouTube videos in the future. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, keep in mind, this was, I don't know how many years ago this video must have come out.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I was under the impression that this was like a recent thing. You were watching YouTube videos on TF2 recently, sorry.
So Rome do have ad, and they actually did pick up the Medigun, so it's sooner ad than the government expected. That being said, maybe they did expect it as they are totally out, totally healthy. Maze did commit out of forwards on Sniper, is still on Sniper. Actually, it looks like... I'm very surprised that the government just didn't take a fast repop here. I mean, they were already like at 80% as Rome was, like as they were leaving. They totally could have stopped mid at the very least, probably gotten picks on point from the people capping. And now they use through the nice pipe on VO might be caught.
They get the pick. Let's go, baby. That's
Steve
it, government.
is spotted behind, so the back cap threat will at least be dealt with. No cap time on mid is a little scary.
No pain train for Steve either. This is not very likely at all.
Ooh, this no cap time might fight government because Rome's already at 80% and they are looking... There's still no one capping. They just sent both scouts back to deal with Steve rather than a soldier. So at this point, Rome, yeah, 99.
Rome approaching lower with the pop in. This could be good for them.
Yeah.
Finding...
Oh, Dead might be caught.
Yeah,
Loaf dies, Dead dies. You, man. And Mopsy.
Yep. That's
this is catastrophic.
Fantastic read from Rome. They're seeing no cap time, understanding that they are going to be caught on point if they persist to cap it, and they do find the picks. That was really well read from VO there.
They are already getting into last. I mean, no sticks on point, you know. Demo's dead. Only one soldier. This is going to be very easy.
That's the map.
Trap them off and cap, yeah. And again, so we saw at early in the series where government were presented with pretty much the exact same situation that Rome was off the heels of a mid, and Rome was just able to capitalize it and government wasn't. And again at the end, kind of the same thing where you're pretty close to getting after leaving on a flip-flop situation and the fast repop before they're finished capping, just catch picks and, you know, take the momentum forward. Rome was able to do that, whereas government, they just lingered a while and weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly shocked with the way that match went. I made the point at the start where this stalemate on last is so brutal. There's very little leeway to make much room. VO totally blown me out of the water with that, just running through all the doorways, finding cap time on last consistently. Pretty much
Mhm.
getting all of their rounds from the stalemate at last. Very surprising, Snakewater.
I will say the random pocket scout just holding W through a doorway, no holds barred, not with anyone. It definitely doesn't look like as much of a relentless feed when the doors aren't adequately being held.
Yeah, I
And
would
that
agree.
was absolutely working out here. We do have some logs we can look at.
True.
And what sticks out? Man, I say it every time, like logs just don't speak to me anymore. But I will note
Okay.
Mig with very few deaths here is very nice.
hmm
And it's always so nice to just have that demo alive all the time. And we saw like multiple times where the government kind of wanted to pressure out of their own last, like the time they had 2 soldier picks trying to pressure out of their own last, but just the mere presence of Mig with traps on those doorways. Not only getting a kill on Loaf later on, but just the mere threat of the debt on anyone who walks through just slows them so much that it buys you a lot of time. And having your demo alive pretty much all the time is a real asset.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm honestly a little surprised at the logs here, looking at soldier deaths in particular. Rome is actually outpacing the government quite a bit in soldier deaths, partly thanks to Steve's skill level, but also I think the soldier deaths from VO's team, Rome, were actually just a lot more considered than the soldier deaths of the blue team. I think a lot of the time Loaf and Crazy are trying to take a lot of ambitious dry fights, and they're paying the price in a early feed, whereas Steve and Frisbee are finding just grander, more easily non-punished sack timings, and I think that is playing out in the score.
True. Yeah, a lot of the time that Steve and Frisbee are dying, it's just like a I'm gonna go die type of scenario. Versus on the blue side of things, it's more soldiers getting caught, just barely over that line of aggression, the point of no return. Well, we are going on to Sunshine now, which is the government's map pick. So of course they have to have some sauce, something that they think they are good at, or maybe it's just a comfortable map for them. That being said, I don't want to be a government doubter here. I'd love to see them pull through,
Please
but
don't.
I don't see what is going to be drastically different about this map as opposed to Snakewater.
Been doing a lot of log stalking, a lot of demo watching. This is the government's map. I've watched their mids. They've been very impressive with their rotates, their fast aggressions. I think Loaf has been very novel with bomb creation. And even more impressive is their stalemate game in the last. They have plays that I've never seen before. If you have money, put it on the government right now.
I will say, I do actually agree with the
Me too.
mids, because what I was seeing on Snakewater mid was government having much more active scouts on height, but also just like kind of slowly but surely like working their positioning forward.
Mhm.
Of course, on a map like Snakewater, that doesn't matter so much as long as they're not crossing. It's only limited with what you can do there. So it is more about finding just a timing for the commit. But on a map like Sunshine, where you can out rotate a team and catch a pick out of position, that could be a difference maker.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really curious to see how the fundamental skill positioning plays into these mids. You can honestly, with bell tower control and a lot of like early Tetris, you can kind of just deny a lot of soldier space. And if Rome doesn't do a good job recognizing that, they can be punished with early soldier deaths on a lot of these mids, which will open up space for the government. Curious to see how that's
Mhm.
gonna go.
Absolutely. That being said, we did just see like a 5-1 and a 5-1 that, while
Forget about it.
there was still play happening, it didn't feel close in the sense that Rome were just very consistently outmatching government, or at the very least consistently getting more value in their plays and converting better. So yeah, even if government has an edge here, they definitely still have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I honestly think that we should totally disregard that last map. Little outside lore here. Loaf sent me a message on Steam saying that the government's chakras have been aligned and that they are
Mm.
totally reset and ready to play another map here. So I'm really looking forward to see a brand new team emerge from Sunshine here.
So out of sheer curiosity, have
Okay.
you bet yet?
Have I bet yet? No, I have not. I am looking at the betting, and I'm seeing the team I want to bet on have a 93 odds to 7%, and I do
That
not
is
see a lot of
true.
money in that. I honestly might just put a little value bet myself on the
A
government.
value bet on government would be nice, just
You
for the
never know,
hope, you know?
because you never know with these kinds of things is the thing.
You do never know.
And there we
Maybe,
go.
you know what it is? Maybe like last day of the Halloween event. I don't know if it's the last day, but Rome are notorious for, you know, little team bonding. Maybe they're doing some pubbing. Maybe MiG-21 his usual Scottish Resistance loadout is actually a Demo Night loadout from pubbing. Switches
Oh.
to that in a disad last hold scenario, trying to get the Scott Res stickies up. Boom, you have a Demo Night. He charges out of forwards, dies, round for government, game for government.
Here's what I'm thinking. Loaf wants to win this match so bad, not because of any glory winning over Rome. Finance. Loaf just bought a knife. He bought a classic knife Scorch. He's looking to recoup on that investment. A little higher seeding into playoffs is an easy way to do that.
Yep, classic knife scorched, well worn. In fact, where the wear
It
pattern
looks good,
only scratches the edge of the the scorch part. But I can appreciate a well worn classic knife.
No, it's a very tasteful knife. I think Loaf did a great job with this investment.
I need to look back. Man.
We can't do CSGO knife talk on.
I'm not. I was looking at the log.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Well, we are just waiting on these guys. I mean, I guess on like an actual note, of course, I mean, we're talking about, you know, Rome favored, unless you're betting, in which case put it all on government, I guess. But what would you change if you're the government? Because from what I was seeing, I think a big thing that you can fix is some of these doors are just not being held adequately, considering the resources at your disposal. I think being able to prevent these players from getting in, getting cap time on your last even, or just like getting deep spam, is probably step one.
Yeah, honestly, step one for me is a roster changeup. I want to see Loaf on demo here. He has a sixth sense for what door he should be holding. I think Loaf on demo here could really turn the tides in favor for the government. I want to see if that comes out this map.
I have not seen a Loaf demo in a while, and I don't know if I'm a believer. I'm going to be honest.
Well, teach his own. I'm a believer.
It's hard. Like, soldier players turn demos, they all just have like this soldier style
of winning.
A lot of bombing, a lot of pipes. Not so much like I should just stand here and reload stickies because that's what's going to win my team the fight.
I mean, I hate to say it, but pipes and bombing is the way this game is going. If you've seen the lock and load, that gun loves it when you bomb it. You can bomb out, you can hit pipes, you reload, hit more pipes. I really think that's the direction this game's going, and Loaf is going to be the facilitator of that.
Loaf needs to go sticky jumper lock and load right now.
Yeah.
In this first mid. Well, we are ready up here. Map 2, Rome, of course, with a map advantage so far with the 5-1 victory on Snakewater.
I'm going to the mid cam. Yeah. Tried and true.
It's looking like maybe a meet.
Mig's taking a lot of early damage, down to single-digit HP. Very shaky start for Rome here. He's getting re-healed, no punish. Great.
Yeah, although Steve on the floor very weak as well underneath point. That should get cleaned up. He has the stick out. Loaf actually the first one to die.
Slow rotate,
and
Mig is going to be caught for it. Yep.
Steve dies on the floor.
May's just carving through Rome. Wow, that was fantastic.
And now Rome's in the uncomfortable position of being down players in a potentially losing mid on the wrong side. Although, nice bomb from Frisbee's able to clean up Crazy. It is ultimately a trade, however. At this point, actually, look at this ad for government. This might get played. I expect it to get played. Gadilli at 90%, only one person to heal.
And there's the demo bomb we were talking about. Darty goes down. Gadilli is out to his team.
He
sneaks out. Well done. Great leave. Very good instinct from Darty to make that feed play so that Gadilli could leave their little smoke cloud. That was fantastic.
True. So it will be evens on last. They have a scout pick into last. Only for the time being. Vio is doing the classic Vio of spy out of your own last. And actually on this very same map, I think it was in like Maine. I just did my own cast of a bombing, or not bombing balconies. Sweaty spaghetti match, and Vio got a nice double stab or something to that degree. Ooh, Uber just gets popped in and gets a pick on Frisbee and Steve. Both soldiers down. Now the spy's a bit of a liability, maybe.
And he's on heavy. It's now goaded.
Yeah, now it's... Oh, they do get the counter force. The repressure, this Brass Beast poses a huge problem. And yeah,
they're not even going to try it.
That,
Kudos, yep.
leave.
It's not an easy fight to win by any means. I do not blame them for even trying. They do actually have build ad here. I'm going to be curious to see if the government plays it. They were building quite well on the leave, so they definitely do have an opportunity to play their 20 ad back into last here.
I mean, if they're able to catch both soldiers with an Uber, like it should be a very playable post. But this time around, there will just be a gun on last. So that's definitely something you have to consider, and that's going to make it much harder. Although they call it off and bring up Loaf Sniper again.
Fair play. First round of the half, going for a build check is a little insane. I don't blame him at all. Loaf Sniper, disappointing to say the least. Really hoping to get this over with quick so we can return to sack, play TF2. This is abysmal.
If I'm Frisbee, I'm just speed shotting into right lobby, spoon out, get that trade.
Sniper trade is beautiful here. Just
Theo
anything that
counter
would kill Loaf.
Just holding the angle.
And Theo kills Loaf here. Loaf will not hear the end of it, so he's going to be very determined to win this SVS here.
Absolutely. Trying to peek this, and I mean, this is like what we talked about last time around, where oh, nice little pick on the
fantastic actual bait from Dead. They're recognizing his sniper got headshot, looking for an aggression from a soldier.
Ooh,
baits him into a trap, and there's the trade.
I mean, like, government have an opportunity here to be... They are trying to de-peek their sniper, but Mopsy dies to the gun. Oh, and it's Steve. Getting aggro in the lobby, trying to catch a timing that actually goes down. So that's gonna just be the counter sack out of the way. But again, I mean, as we saw in Snakewater when government played the sniper into last, they just aren't... They aren't really pacing things too quickly. They're just really trusting that sniper to do all the work, and I mean, that's going to put Rome in a position where they can just, you know, sit back and potentially take a reset.
Nice pick from Loaf onto Vio, and we have Crazy dying by the spawn door. I want to see them open up some pressure here. I want to see fast rotates on the doors. I think Rome needs to get pushed here, and I don't think the government's doing a very good job of rotating doors and keeping them on their toes. Loaf dies to a trap. That is not good.
Oh, and Steve is just able to get the med from behind.
And Steve, okay.
Right. Yep, just like that. I mean, Rome just doing a fantastic job on their own last of not only, you know, holding it, but being able to catch the nice counter-sack timing and push off of their last successfully. Just leaving that sentry on last. No backcap threats to worry about. And we do have some espionage.
Rage spy from Loaf here by the spawn door. This is a sneaky little corner. I really hope he cloaks and doesn't just play it like a scout. Okay, there we go. He's cloaking, infiltrating behind enemy lines here. Sees the flank. What's he going to do? Prediction.
He is in position. Oh, and this is not a spy you'd expect
Come on.
in on Gadilli. It's just a matter of whether he has the patience.
He's getting healed up.
Oh, no.
Loaf.
He had it all there. Honestly, in a time like that, if you just... Because truthfully, like, Gadilli's movement there, Gadilli was not aware of the spy. Oh, and Ubers just get popped immediately. Looking like Crazy's caught, so they have 2 picks. They might pressure into last. Of course,
a little bit of a surprising Uber there. I honestly wasn't following too hard. I don't know if Crazy stuffed it or if Vio saw something spectacular.
That was
with
just
Uber.
a pop through, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, definitely not a fantastic pop through. Could have taken a little bit more space there.
Ooh, we might be looking at another pop through bats here potentially. Looking like that wants to, does
and
use
here
through.
It is.
Meg eating a ton of spam. Frisbee potentially caught. Ooh, are they just not getting picks here? Steve is in lobby. Like, surely this is the guy to die. Okay, getting collapsed on by 3 players will die. And they did get Darty in the meantime.
2 picks
two picks.
Think about a mid pressure here. Let's see what the government does.
True,
it is looking like they're posturing by choke. Soldiers getting buffed. Might just be a sack. Crazy's in cafe.
Loaf is through choke. Trying to get some space, but the space is not being followed up on. Government just leave.
'Tis all.
That's kind of unexpected. Or rather, a missed opportunity with how close Rome are. They do just use through Valley here. Crazy will be dying for the Uber, but that's going to be all.
They're really only finding shoulder picks so far on the Rome Popters. I want to see them like eyeing up these doorways a little bit more, trying to find space rather than just looking to pop on Ubers here. I really want to see some dry fights here, not just shoulder picking Popters. This is
Steve is in. Somehow doesn't get any damage on
Oh
the
my
med. Vio
goodness,
committing
Dead.
as well and dying. That's down 3 now.
Fantastic pipes from Dead on last there to keep his medic alive.
Yeah. And yeah, now Roam are just gonna have to leave. That extra commit from Vio kind of just cost them the point, honestly.
Yeah.
Now, Government still with this ad. Oh, are they gonna pop? They are. Meg is caught at the very least. Probably Gadilly as well.
Gadilly's caught. What a bomb from Dead. Perfect straight from the bell tower to catch them off guard. That was fantastic.
And it's starting to slip away. We do have Vio hiding in forwards, though, on the Sniper. And this is where Sniper is deadly.
Awesome.
Yup.
Nice. Let's go, baby.
That's literally just how the class works. And if you play it like that, then it's very risk-free, honestly. So the Government just had to kind of predict that. Probably have the med not stand in the sight line, but, you know, it's a hard play to anticipate, I suppose. In any
really
case,
rocky HPs here on 2. A lot of people very weak. Could see some picks folding out, and if people are leaving, it looks like the fight is winding down. Mid will be taken shortly here from Rome.
Det can't jump away. 28 HP. Okay, does get bowed in time. But yeah, Government just had a ton of momentum there that all got halted by Vio in the forwards. So now Rome with pretty much 40 ad. Of course, they don't have yet, but they are...
What door are they going to pop through this?
They are rotating towards Calf.
Looking like it's Cafe.
Yup.
I want to see them dry. Don't just
pop through. They are trying to drive. Frisbee's bombing through for space.
Vio sees the space.
Yep, and this makes sense as a draw. Oh, they do have to use because Meg is quite weak.
That's fine. Much more acceptable play from Rome there. I like the improvement.
Ooh, we see a fast repump. Maze is still in lobby. 90%. I don't know if the timing's there.
Yeah, they can't quite enact on that close.
I mean, you still might want to pop through anyway, but you won't be stopping point with it, as we do see
Uber comes at bats.
Not looking like anyone's caught, so we are just looking at a flip-flop on 2 scenario.
Very risk-free play there, drying into this last. Can be treacherous. Don't mind the pop through at all.
Rome's trying to re-pressure, but without Uber.
Very
and they
early.
lose 2 immediately.
Wow.
Steve is alone. Leaving Valley will be surviving for the time being. But yeah, now pressure window for Government. Loaf is already through, bombing around crazy, getting on bell tower. Getting bombed by Steve, however, that will just be the sack. Mopsy in, gets Gadilly.
Goes down. Fantastic from Mopsy.
Ooh. Just fantastic mind for the flank there from the glue. This is Steve bombing from Valley. No, bombing out Valley.
Yep, scared.
Yep.
Little interesting thing to note on too there when Rome took that refight with no Uber is that Darty and Frisbee died, who are on either ends of the combo. Frisbee got in through Cafe, Darty through Valley. There's just a lack of understanding of when they should be fighting there, considering those picks happen from other ends. Wow, this wrap is insane, the pacing, and
they just got themselves caught to an Uber.
Wow.
I don't know what just happened there.
I love it. My bet is looking good after that.
I ended up not... Look at Steve behind. I don't know if they know Steve is behind. And if Steve's still on the pain train, this could... Ooh, there's 2 behind.
Surely
Times 3 on the point.
point.
This is going to be a successful backcap, I think. These scouts just can't stop the point against the splash. So both soldiers will die for the play, but Frisbee gets a trade.
Wow, low dying there is kind of ridiculous.
On the front lines, however, I mean, Romer's still down 3. And it is disad, but Ubers aren't in play yet. So it will be a recap on mid, but still, you know, a win for Rome. Able to probably hold your 2 now, or at least play disad on 2. Just off the play of that.
I see Government acting Cafe. I want to see some fast pressure here. If they can open up some space before Ubers come out, they will have a successful dry.
They are rotating doors now. Or at the very least, chilling back on mid.
Is playing quite close. If they have an understanding of their ad, they do. We have Det coming in through choke here. What will he find with the Uber? Gadilly's leaving dungeon. Frisbee looks caught on point. Just a soldier pick with the Uber. That is fine. That was a nice bomb.
Oh, dungeon. They are already in. Yep. This medic is caught. Fantastic recognition there from Rome. Looking like Gadilly AFK.
Interesting picks on the flank, though. There's a lobby threat here. We have 3 collapsing on point. Gadilly looks caught. Gadilly's going down. We have fighting going on. Grass Scouts looking to go down. Vio 2 HP, dies in lobby. That was a fantastic post. Recognizing that the med was caught guaranteed. Everyone going behind looking for a post. And that was just a beautiful collapse from the Government there.
I don't even know how that went so well, honestly. I was just looking at Gadilly standing AFK thinking he's lagging out, because I was expecting him to like pick up the gun like he was earlier, But suddenly there's just a million players.
I think
Rome
truthfully
dying,
that was Rome taking the Uber too far. As soon as you get that med pick, you need to look at other threats, and the threats were 3 people entering lobby looking for a post there. They got to back up, take a safer positioning, and they didn't do that.
Yeah, if lobby's getting shoved like that, then absolutely you have to be very careful about how you go about things. So we do have Crazy early on Belt, and Meg very weak early into this mid. A Wayward Sticky would finish the job, but does get bowed. Loaf is high bombing in. We'll go for the air shot on Vio.
It goes down,
miss.
double bomb onto Dav, finds the pick.
Just like that, Steve will be dying here. Down 3 for Rome, down 3 for Government. At this point, it's just a matter of what salvage can happen. Det bombing in with a nice pipe, but all the players on Rome kind of splitting their HP. None of them dying, but all of them going quite low.
Yeah, that was a much more interesting mid, much more chaotic. Soldier bombs, counter aggression, a meat mid. That was very interesting. I love the way that Rome played that with the soldier bombs by Cafe. Very good mid securing pick.
Yep, and putting themselves in position now for a potential mid to last. We do have Mopsy on Sniper, Maze building that gun. What is Rome trying to do? I'd imagine a top left Uber. That's just kind of the go-to in a situation like this. No spotting yet. I assume they already saw where the gun was at. Of course, they do use now. Sniper does not get anything. Gun goes down. Rome is crossing with this Uber. The collapse from Steve is just crunching all these players. This is surely a one-round. Fantastic Uber from Rome.
Yeah, that was just a total misplay from the government, frankly. They saw the Uber approaching them, and half of them committed forward, meanwhile half of them committed into spawn. They just got to choose to go back into spawn there and play the other side of the last. They can't meet them with an Uber in their face. That's not possible.
Yeah, they just got crunched. And also Steve just getting through very cleanly right side. Like if you're going to stick around right, then that door needs to get prioritized and stuffed.
Yep.
And then the Tomislav just going out sad.
Yeah,
it's just the cherry on top. In any case, we are looking at another mid this time around. Tie game, 1-1 Government Rome. Kind of like Government bombing their soldiers. Ooh, and Gadilli is just first to die here. Det does go down, and health is not great for blue. Just like that, Daff does die. To Darty on the flank, and there's a few players from Rome just lurking around behind. This is pure scrap. It's just a matter of scouts, honestly, at this point.
Oh my goodness. Loaf gets hit with a crit ball in Cafe, goes down to single-digit HPs before the pack respawns. That is terrifying.
This is
still
too early
scrappy.
to call still. Mopsy's healthy. Mopsy's the healthiest player here, which makes me think she'll win. Actually, just like that, Darty is even HP with Mopsy. Nice rocket from Loaf. It's just a matter of chipping down this scout, who's proving to be a real nuisance.
Is finessing on Cafe, and he goes
Vio's
down.
in, though, with heals. Gadilli getting a nice pick onto Loaf. Mid-fight number 2 going on. This time around, Rome will be getting collapsed on a choke.
Yeah.
Mig doing a good job of, staving off the chase from Maze, so Gadilli will be living, but, yeah, mid-win for Government.
Seeing some immediate pressure choke here of a soldier sack coming in, landing at Cafe, just a fade to open up a little bit of space, which isn't enacted on. Counter aggression coming Cafe sided. Frisbee's in quite the committed position. Trying to collapse on choke. I think we might see her. Oh, an exchange from Maze. Recognizes close players.
And they bomb in Det as well. Gadilli's at 90. Not even that close to getting, considering the state of things there.
Wow.
Which is curious because Gadilli died sooner than Daff, and I think had a sooner spawn wave. But just better building from Government and realizing that is able to get them the second point and 40 add into last.
Yeah, that must have been a head spot the way they played that Uber. That was really a heads up from Daff there.
Must have been spotted on mid for that refight, because you just don't have that opportunity on second. But at this point, Det is here now, so they will be moving into position to take this Uber 80%, so they can still do some spotting, get some buffing done. Been like a pretty standard setup here, and Vio actually on the Pyro.
Interesting. Playing around the gun akin to a metalworks
which is
or gully
quite
wash.
weak already. Looks like he wants to stuff the door, and actually doing a fantastic job of doing so.
Gun goes down, Vio's still healthy. Top left is not free.
Maze dies as well.
Rome's, yep. Great job from Vio. There's stuff in the door. They just cannot find that pick.
It's not often that a Pyro is able to successfully stuff that door, because it is just so out of the way of like a spawn that it's very risky. I mean, they commit Gadilli forward for it, so that was a very high risk play, but it did absolutely pay off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially getting the gun early there, I think that's on the flank to make that heads-up play to get through quick and help with that. If, per se, Crazy was to get through Dungeon and land on Gadili, that's just a free med pick, and then with the counter, like the fork on the Pyro, then it's just over for that last hold.
Rome takes the Uber in, and both soldiers are going to be caught. Loaf going for the wall bug will die. Crazy is on last, but probably too weak to do anything as 3 players chase behind and get those picks. Yeah, Rome secure their second point and potentially deny 2 here. It is, of course, disad, but they're going to have a nice opportunity to pressure for this force.
See what Rome does. They're approaching choke. We have Frisbee flying in, landing on Belgrade, positioning for him. We have Steve coming in through Valley, landing Cafe, taking a soldier fight. Will be picked shortly.
Uber.
The Uber comes out from government. What will they find? They find Steve. They find Vio.
This is looking bad for Rome. Darty's taking a 1v1 with Maze, but...
Frisbee's also caught in Valley.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Gadili was able to get out there, considering Vio died. He just did not have scout speed. But there were enough players lurking around for the chase that kind of distracted. Darty is all the way behind, so Rome is effectively down 3 on last, but government's not pressuring. They are too concerned about this scout.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they see in that Darty pick. Definitely had a really big window open into last that they didn't take.
Oh, and Rome through shot at Vio, extremely weak to spam.
Wow.
Gadili milking that Uber. Vio will live.
A bomb from Crazy on point finds Mick. Great recognition from Crazy there. And the Uber's popped as well.
Yeah. In the meantime, a flank shove with Mopsy and Loaf is unable to materialize anything. They both go down. Crazy does die in Cafe, so down 3 now for the government. This time around, however, they do not have an Uber to pop. That is very forward, considering that actually does just die to the bomb.
Trade over 2 when they have that is totally fine.
Yeah, it's still worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Darty might be caught here depending on how he plays this. He is just sitting and eating the damage. He's leaving on 40. It's very surprising. Yeah, well done.
Still, though, full ad for government into last. So, you know, that pick honestly might not even change the state of things. Oh, they're taking this in. Never mind. Maze is just peeking.
Yep.
Yeah, waiting for the demo here makes ultimate sense, and that's why that pick might not really have mattered on Darty.
Something to note is we see Vio on Sniper this time, no Pyro, so there is no absolute shutout hold like last time guaranteed this time.
True. And I actually kind of like the Sniper as the counter strat to the deep spotting for the Pyro. But they were just getting in deep without using. They do use now. Maze dying to a headshot. Roma, just everyone in spawn, but Sticky's on point are able to stop the cap while everyone is in spawn, and as a result, players are able to commit out and basically wipe the remaining players in the post.
I'm not sure if you caught that, Rumpus, but I saw Steve. I'm not sure how he died, but he fell to like a clumsy, painful, self-induced death. I don't know if you caught that. I don't know if he kill bound or switched class at a spawn or what happened, but very curious to know what happened there.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him afterwards, I suppose.
Or right now, perhaps. One moment.
Yeah, Rome trying to dry this through Valley. Steve bombing in, trying to go behind at this point. Rome are taking their space. Sack in from Crazy. Does get the force. And Steve died behind as well. Very good situation. Ooh, Loaf is now behind. Ooh, but getting chased.
I think this is good from Loaf. This is fantastic. Going to open up space with Darty chasing him behind. I want to see him refight from the government if possible, approaching Uber.
Yeah, they don't have quite yet. 98. Man, this would have been perfect for government if they had even 5% more. Oh, but the players are caught. Loaf is nuking and choke.
Perfectly played. That was beautiful. I love it from the government. That was awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. So at this point, Darty and Valley maybe salvage mode. Steve and Cafe maybe salvage mode. They will both just be leaving at the moment. And yeah, government putting themselves in a nice position for a last push, potentially. Of course, their last push is not so great so far. I mean, it just comes down to fundamentals. Comes down to spotting. Comes down to playing good posts. Comes down to playing the point correctly. We'll see. They have another shot at it.
Yeah, I haven't necessarily seen a good Uber itself or a good post. 2 very important parts of taking an Uber in a last. So hopefully the government is able to find a little bit of footing to win some rounds here.
Nice pick onto Loaf there, who will not be involved in this Uber. It's like a dungeon Uber. Steve might be caught to this. Gun goes down immediately. Det bombing across. Gadili might be caught. Does die. Det is kind of alone, though, and will be dying to Frisbee. But with no heals for the red team, you can kind of slow things down if you'd like. Just play the spam game, and they're doing just that. Working the point. And
I was totally locked in on how Steve got pick there. How on earth did Gedilli get killed to death there? I totally didn't see that. What happened?
Just 2 forward.
Too forward?
The Dungeon
Wow.
Uber got the gun. Det just rebombed across, and Gedilli just nowhere near the spawn shutter.
That is
died to
very
that.
surprising. Rome is like renowned for their fundamental positioning. That is very shocking to see Gedilli get caught to a Uber like that.
Well, government showing they have some sunshine sauce with a nice lead here. Although Det eating a lot of early damage on this mid, will have to get bowed. Being said, these teams have been playing very fluid sunshine mids with a lot of kind of fluid positioning. So we do have bombs in from Loaf and Crazy. Doesn't really materialize anything, and actually Loaf goes down, Maze goes down. Uh-oh, the House of Cards is falling.
Catastrophic for the government.
Yeah,
they just could not find any footing with those bombs. And in the meanwhile, DAF was also getting bombed themselves.
Okay, Det is able to survive, however, which is actually kind of important. That at least gives you some spam, some theoretical trap up deep lobby or on some doorway. Rome trying to pressure right side. A headshot rings out will stop that peak. But Rome sizing themselves up for some full ad last pushing action.
This big juicy stack in the right shutter. I hope they make the right choice and not kite forward this time again. They are tucking into spawn. This is fantastic. Out left, this is exactly what they needed.
Oh, and the point pressure as well. Darty does die for it, but Vio's able to just slip right on.
Yep. Much better attempt from the government there. Unfortunate that they got so much cap time early. It's just on those soldiers to react a little bit quicker.
And again, just having a mid to last or two in your pocket, it makes all the difference. Rome just able to tie it up, just like nothing.
Much more interesting sunshine here. I want to see the government enact on some early pressure, which they did on early mids. I want to see early soldier bombs off positioning. I think they did a really good job earlier in the half, and I think if they can bring that back, they will be winning mids again.
We are looking at Mopsy actually taking a decent amount of spam here. Rome are aggressing. It's not too great necessarily. Okay, they do trade out Loaf. Okay, the picks are now in their favor, and the positioning is very nice as well. Mopsy will be dying. However, Daff and Crazy will be leaving. Already going back for the cap, so there will not be a deep chase. Going to be even Ubers on last, most likely here.
This mid positioning is really having me scratching my head here from the government. It seems like they're never in a comfortable place for either the aggression or for when they aggress. They really have to find some footing here on these mids. They're losing it.
Because it wasn't even necessarily that Rome just had better positioning there. They seemed kind of like strung out and everywhere at once, which I would think would be exploitable with just like a very solid setup, but instead it just ended up working out, getting the picks.
Immediate two-man coming in from Rome, finding the force and a pick. That is miraculous.
Yeah. And Vio wants this Uber. He is deep.
That is a little...
Does take it and just dies for it. Man. I mean, in principle, just taking the fast Uber, like they don't have the proper setup necessarily, but the gun is still up. You're down 2. That's just potentially needlessly risky in a situation like this. As we do have... Oh, Gedilli's caught as well. Oh no, Loaf doesn't have another rocket loaded.
Frisbee might be caught in choke here.
Oh, but keep an eye on Steve here. Oh, the ×6 is able to stop
right
those
on
plans.
him. The spy from Steve. This is notoriously good. Steve has one of the best spies in the game. Ex-Highlander player should be able to use that to his benefit here.
Has been spotted by Det.
Goodbye,
did not get recognized.
Wow.
I mean, a trade is kind of neutral in this type of situation. I mean, you get rid of Maze, which is the combo scout, so like, you know, there's something for that. Ooh, look at this flank shove. This is a flank scout medic demo man shove. Gedilli at 90% is maybe caught here. 97, 98.
99, they're
going to be getting. Okay, but this is a demo solo Uber. Not the type of Uber that usually gets kills or gets anything, so they will just be leaving.
It is the Uber that gets out, though, and that is good for Gedilli. These flank shoves from Gedilli and the Rome squad, I'm not really sure what the play is there. It's not going too well for them. I think they should scratch that one out of the playbook immediately.
Yeah, because especially if the team's trying to get through choke, they literally just turn and walk back. Like,
exactly.
I don't know. In any case, we do see Rome pressure here. It is even Ubers, even players, and oh man, Daff just dies.
Steve
Steve Bomb from Valley is able to distract Maze, and yeah.
Two soldier
Double
picks,
soldier
if they
for the
really
mid.
wanted to do something in the mid here, they could. A little bit of a pressure from Valley of Crazy coming in, living behind in Cafe. Good recognition to live on that bomb.
Mopsy's in.
Mopsy getting aggressive through Valley. Gadilly's a little
Ooh,
caught out.
A lot of players are
Dead's
committing to this
enacting on
fight.
it. Dead's
This is
trying.
a full commit. And this is looking like a full wipe. Does not look like Crazy will be able to get anything.
I really think you need to make that decision in the moment to like full commit. You can't just one by one trickle feed, or Rome will 100% of the time be able to shut that down. It's got to be all or nothing with that.
Yeah. And especially as well, like, they were already set up for the counter at that point. So they're already in, like, positioning that's theoretically strong. So you see Rome just already in last as the spawners are spawning.
And this would just be a miracle.
Trying to get sticks on point. Actually, picks are kind of going either way. Steve dies
somehow.
For the that is crazy.
True. Wow. I was going to make a point on how they could have been holding last, but instead they're just giving a free round away. Meanwhile, Gadilly might just be caught here. Nice serve from him.
Frisbee
will be caught,
certainly going to die. Will die for the cause. Gadilly just backing up, meeting these spawners. So there are spawners at the very least. Staff does not have Uber yet, and we are actually looking at a little bit of a pause.
Yeah, that's definitely a rage pause from the VO squad after a last push like that. Definitely we're getting some keyboard slamming, some words are being spoken into the microphone here.
I mean, on paper, it makes sense. I mean, the tough thing about that is it's going to be inherently risky because you don't know what spawn wave they're catching. You don't know when they're going to be spawning. And if, for instance, like that spawned, 3 seconds later, that's probably just a round.
Absolutely, yeah.
But that's not a call you're going to be, that's not information you have. That's a call you're just going to have to make based off, the vibes, because you can only kind of feel out when players are spawning, not like know for certain. And yeah, just risky push just happened not to work out even when things were looking so good.
I mean, dead spawn regardless. That was still many people stuck in spawn waiting to spawn while Rome was taking an Uber into last. That should have been a shoo-in, and if they are not able to convert Ubers like that, Sunshine might be going way of the government, which I have been saying.
We will have to see. I don't know what is drawing me to this floating sticky above choke next to this
Take a look at that. Oh, the dead sticky.
No, the Meg sticky. Something about the fact that it's right next to this like cable makes it look more suspended,
Yeah, I've
my
got nothing
graphics
to
setting has a
comment on
cable.
This isn't cool at all.
Whatever. You guys play. I still haven't figured out exactly what it is. My game is like cheating. It's broken because on this map especially, like I see shadows through everything. If you're taking an Uber top left, I know it before you use. If you're hiding above Cafe, I know it just in Cafe. But I don't know if it's just my shadow settings or if there's other graphic settings behind the scenes there. But it's powerful stuff. So it is a government pause. That is worrisome. Hopefully it's a government pause after they get around. We are unpaused here, just as a nice little celebration. But yeah, they are looking at 20 ad. Actually more like 30. Moving towards Valley, it looks like. They might want to use there.
Something to note about this ad push will be that Darty is sniping in forwards. Hopefully we get to see that have some impact into the mid fight here.
And that's the exact setup. And okay, is like peeking the forwards. So not the exact same type of setup. Is spotted in the forwards, so Loaf is aware.
Yep.
Does not look like a flank shot. Immediate repop. It's just a matter of who's caught. So far, it's not looking like anyone. Loaf does die, actually. But,
immediate pressure from Rome after no cap on mid. They're acting very quick here. Det is caught out.
Ooh, Det is
trying to
very
facilitate
low.
that pick. Great bow.
That's going to be caught here. Does die. So now down Det and Loaf. They're going to have to
just
leave.
Yep, that's safe.
Ooh,
Crazy might be caught in lobby. Yeah, they could have just left.
They are just
that's
trickling.
Surprising. Yeah, very surprising from Crazy there.
Uh-oh.
Immediate pressure through left lobby into last. Rome is converting lightning fast here.
Oh, bomb in from Steve on point. Pain Train, decent cap time. Oh man, Maze and Loaf both going down. Only 3 up now for the government. Det is going for pipes instead of sticking the point and will die. And that's 2-3 Rome with a minute left until overtime.
A matter of knowing when to hold them and fold them. Government just can't seem to manage to leave a point safe there. Over to another mid, looking for Government to be making these positional adjustments to lock in these mids, especially with banny time coming up. This mid is going to be very important.
Yeah, because a mid to last here will be slow enough to hit that overtime. So if Rome mid to last here, that will just be the game. But in any case, we are seeing a true rotational mid, much more standard stuff than some of the other ones.
Little underbomb from
in.
Steve finds choke positioning, will
Actually,
leave.
Det goes down on point to Frisbee.
Yep.
Crazy dying as well.
Everything is traded out though. With Steve behind, I'm wondering when Rome is going to get aggressive here. Steve Cafe lurking on mid, finding bell positioning, going to be contested by Loaf.
It's a soldier trade. So now it's just two scouts and a med versus two scouts and a med. This is kind of a randomish, just DM fight. This is all about having the scouts focus the same thing down. And actually, Government just looks like they don't want to be involved in this. They're just positioned kind of to leave as Rome, you know, in a powerful spot on point. Frisbee very low, might be dying off the rollout. Meg as well, back by Spawn, or back by Choke, very weak.
Yep, just a fight for ground here as players are back. We have bell positioning controlled by Blue, going to be given up, and it's just another mid fight.
True. Mid fight number 2. The second time we've seen this, the VO
Here's the trade.
Is in. That gets used on. So far, neither team flashing anybody, but look at Loaf behind.
The positioning for Rome is much worse than for Government. Here comes the collapse.
Yeah. They do lose 2 for the med, though, and Daff is very weak. Yeah, the health is just not there for Government. They will get cleaned up. What was looking really good with that soldier behind, just immediately killing the med, but it does not materialize.
Seeing Crazy miss some crucial rockets could have spelled potentially a winning fight for the Government. I'm really curious to see how that would have went if Crazy was able to collect on those 2 picks that they try to go for.
Oh, Steve saying hope nobody saw that in chat, meaning he did beef hard.
I imagine he...
Apparently, Steve killed himself again, but that's honestly par for the course, and he didn't say that for all his other random suicides.
I appreciate him owning up to it now. It shows a little bit of character growth over the course of this series.
Yeah. Yep, the arc, the CP Sunshine Steve arc.
It really brings out the best out of players, Sunshine. I'm happy to see it for Steve.
Well, it is even Ubers on last, and this is probably the second worst position you could be in as the Government, with worst only being Disat on last. But, yeah, they do have this gun set up. Kind of like the anti-sniper hold, but it just works really well as a regular hold with the gun in front of the point.
Curious what your thoughts on this little trap behind the box on the right is from Det here. What do you think about that?
Behind the box on the right. I think that's... It's okay, actually. Because if a guy bombs through, then he's just going to be on it. Yeah, I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't seen that before. Meg just goes down, just eyeing up a doorway. There you go.
Oh, and Gadilli's very close to the doorway as well. 70 HP. Crazy tries to bomb through, but does die. And actually, Vio just takes an Uber.
Rome. This is insane.
And Det is caught.
Det? Is it
Somehow.
worth, though? How, if they're able to
there's a gun on last and an Uber.
Frisbee goes down immediately. Definitely not worth. Yeah, call it out. Out. Steve, don't you dare die.
Steve gets the gun.
Steve!
Steve! No. And Vio is, like, still peeking. Okay, so Det and Crazy will be spawning here. Rome can back up now, but they're still down 2, and this should be a pretty straightforward dry if you're the Government. Of course, you have to worry about, like, maybe a slow spy timing, and actually Frisbee does spawn spy. But, yeah, it should be pretty textbook.
Surely Government's able to take point here before Spy has any opportunity to do something.
Frisbee is going to last, and Rome might want to be trying to stop this.
I'm shaking my head right now. Am I seeing a double spy from Rome?
And Spy does confirm themselves on last.
Both soldiers.
Which is actually kind of bad, because now they're like Spy paranoid, and now Steve is less effective. Versus if that Spy died or something. Oh, they're going for the double Spy on 2.
Gadilli with a gigantic C-tap surf out of a horrible situation. That was miraculous from him.
Loaf is hiding in the corner. Unspotted, but very weak. Just kills Gadilli in 1 rocket, and that's a drop. The double spy back cap does get second, but it gets recapped now. So now full ad for Daff. Still the double spy behind, and they definitely know. I wonder if they just go for the back cap again. I mean, why not? Rinse and repeat.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and they are doing just that. But this time around, there's a loaf spawner. But the revolver's no... Oh, I hear a l'étranger, which is definitely a worse revolver for killing people. Steve gets the kill,
cleaned up, and
dies.
that's 2 spies down for the price of 1 soldier. Interesting.
True. They only really bought themselves about 30 ad, however. Losing both those spies, mid should be pretty free. You don't really have to worry about the back cap anymore. And they can potentially deny
if they deny
here.
2 soldiers here with ad, then they're looking at a last push scenario.
Oh, they do. Yeah, and they can be really fast here.
I want to see a fast convert dungeon potentially looking for picks and then point play. If they're too slow, that's totally fine. But they do have an opportunity to play it.
80% on Gadilli, probably going to be too close to call. Okay, they will just be playing this even. That is an intelligent decision.
Agree.
And yeah, in a nice little position to sack in the last. Gun only level 1.
Demo deep, right hold. Mig is quite close to the doorway. Maze, Mopsy's on him, finds the pick.
Oh my god, 3 for 2.
Traded 3 for 2, yes. Frisbee might be caught lobby. Nope.
On paper, like you're up a guy and you could like theoretically counter sack, and actually Frisbee might go for it. But in practice, actually, the government is very passive considering the state of things. Giving Rome space on point, although it might be
Mace is
a little
looking
bit of
for
a Trojan horse.
Oh, Darty's in it with an
NG
engineer.
crits forces a flash. It's gonna try to build a gun, a dispenser. Very curious. Gadilli getting out with 30 HP. That was very risky from Rome.
That could have went horribly. That was amazing. Wow. And evens. Right back to stability.
Just like that. Oh, Piika on Mopsy. Oh, Mopsy's just committed, but Mig had it trapped, so that will be a sack. And that's actually
very low cost death, yes.
Sacks like those are very suspicious because it's just a solo scout feed. Steve going down on the counter. I get like wanting to, and yeah, the sniper spawn is what we were alluding to there. I get wanting to like get the sniper up as fast as possible, but on some level it just peeves me of like, just do like a normal sack, right? You don't have to just feed. You can still sack, but that ultimately doesn't matter that much.
Looking for gluey headshots ringing out from Mopsy here. Let's see him.
So Vio did off-class check, confirms there's a sniper, and picks sniper himself for the SVS. So ego sniper pick, expecting to win that.
We'll get punished, unfortunately.
We will see. We will have to see. But again, same story as the loaf sniper, just kind of slow to get these angles. Is seen by Frisbee, but of course confirmed by Vio earlier, so no new information for Rome. Yeah, government, they should be doing stuff here. Minute 45 left in the round. Mopsy actually just dying to a Steve.
Force out of daft there. Very quick counter from timing from Steve. Fantastic counter.
Yeah. And now minute 30 for Rome. You probably want to push out here. And I expect they might just want to leave the gun on last. They are pressuring forward, but kind of... Oh, Frisbee
goes down early, they might...
That's going to slow them down. And Meg is actually quite weak as well. That was
back to last.
Disconnected aggression.
Absolutely. I think Vio got a little antsy on bats there and called Frisbee through a doorway that wasn't preferable for him, and he paid the price.
And with that, now that it's a minute left, the reset is looking much more attractive. But that's going to give the government the chance to build an Uber and take an exchange. So that failed second push might come back to bite Rome, depending on how this exchange goes. Looks like it might be another dungeon exchange. This time with Loaf involved as well. Tries to bomb in, gets denied by the gun.
Oh,
Gun does go down. No force
flash.
though. They do have space, however. Oh, the beast is here. And the beast poses a big problem.
The
Still
sound
no
that
force
is making
from...
is scaring the government.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's intimidating. Of course, Gadilli still has this Uber. A sliver of point pressure. They are full sending it. Uber finally gets popped. Oh, and now Rome would very much like to avoid this reset, yeah. If anything, avoiding the cap time for that 5-man would have been worth, because then if you all feed and died, and this doesn't happen.
It's such a hard fight to balance. You don't want cap time, but you want the picks, and the only way to aggress into the enemy team is over the point. It's impossible. I'm honestly a little shook
Frisbee dying to a trap. Loaf is doing some espionage, and actually is behind. So might be able to make something happen here. Actually going for a spawn camp on Frisbee. Nope. Decides against it. Wants to go forward.
The Loaf Spy was ridiculously close to working last time. Hoping to see a redemption story here.
True. We'll see. Frisbee is on the rollout, so Frisbee might unintentionally spot Loaf here. Who is... Oh, Frisbee's on Spy. So, okay, so Loaf knows they have a Spy, is giving them that information. And Frisbee did see Loaf pick up an ammo pack.
I think they bumped each other even.
Curious. And Uber gets popped from Gadilli with Vio dying. The fight is happening on 2.
Steve finds Daff in lobby. That was 95%. A miracle pick.
I was just so fixated on Loaf that I didn't see this Rome fight. That can be the downside of Spy, because sometimes it's just a slow class. Gadilli backing up into it. In moments like these, where the movement doesn't necessarily line up, the revolver is just your best friend. Oh, it's L'Étranger, though. That gun doesn't do enough damage.
If he's disguised as a scout, he gets that stab there.
Is he on disguise? Oh, Frisbee's getting healed.
Loaf has been insistent on this soldier disguise for a better acting role, and I think if he just starts pulling out the scout disguise, he's going to be finding more picks.
Frisbee is decloaking now. It's just a Tomislav on point, which we know how that goes. Vio does die, though, but Frisbee is in and just gets the stab. Down the heels, it is pure chaos, but more splash damage for Rome is probably just going to win them this last fight.
And
the best has stickies loaded, and that's the series.
Wow. A lot of interesting espionage on Sunshine there. Was not expecting that. The more traditional stack, counter-stack, dry map, you're seeing all the funny off classes being pulled out on. Wow.
Honestly, and truthfully speaking, I don't think any of them really worked. I mean, Vio... Did Vio spy out of his own last work?
That double spy from Frisbee and Steve.
Oh, the double spy was nice, yeah. That was nice and also amusing, which is the best of both worlds. Well, we do have some logs we can look at.
Who played the most spy?
I was about to look. A minute on Vio, 2 minutes 40 on Frisbee, 2:20 on Steve. I think Loaf's the winner. 2:53 on Loaf, yeah. Who does?
Loaf wins the map on spy time.
Absolutely. Outside of that, Darty actually getting a lot of kills this time around. Yeah. I wonder how many of these are on Engineer. 3 kills on NG, because we did see that that Frontier Justice commit too, which I don't want to say it worked because it didn't, but it was a play.
It definitely was a play. I think one thing to actually point out is Steve with 5 med picks, some of those being extremely crucial fight-winning med picks. I think he was doing a really good job finding opportunities to get really clutch picks on Daff and totally stabilize for Rome.
That was absolutely a big deal in this match, because there were multiple times where Rome was kind of collapsing and things were going poorly, and then suddenly out of nowhere Daff is just dead on the back lines, and you know that turns things around. All right, well, that's a 2-0, and it was a closer game on Sunshine than on Snakewater. We definitely saw more comfortability from government, but I do think it's safe to say Rome kind of just outmatched them tonight.
Yeah, I would agree. It looked like Rome went in with much more foundational plans. Just a lot of very standard situations. Government really just couldn't find footing, being mids, being last, sack plays even. They really just, they didn't have as much prepared as Rome, and I think that really showed throughout the match.
We looked at logs. I would love to say who the matches are going to be. I guess it would be the winners, right? Are going to play against each other.
Oh my god, we have a Steve interview apparently. Oh my god. Everyone get ready.
This is going to be a very hostile interview.
Brace yourself. Yeah.
So FGP versus GCI won. So I would imagine that both teams that won would match up against each other, and then the teams that lost would play like a lower bracket type deal. So we can expect the GCI Rome matchup again, which was a true upset last time around.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if GCI can make adjustments on that one.
Especially in a best of 3 situation. Oh, and Steve joins the call.
Steve just finds his way into this mumble. Hey, Steve, what's up, man? Go ahead.
Any moment now.
Go ahead, Steve. You just won. Oh, hey.
I haven't used Mumble in forever, so my audio was kind of messed up. Is it good?
Oh, the Steve Mumble.
Sounds lovely.
Brace yourselves for a tornado, everyone. Steve is in the call.
I forgot about that.
Don't start. I swear to God.
That is tough. And then every time you just pretend like it's not happening.
Steve, congratulations. You just beat Loaf. You beat Loaf's ass.
I taught that kid a lesson.
You did.
100%.
You see that double spy life?
The double spy was very nice.
I did.
Do not fight us on point, Loaf. You will regret it.
What was the thinking? Walk me through that double spy. What were you thinking going into that?
We just had Vio was calling for it, like because we had like the perfect timing, and we were just like we had so many good flanks like on Sunshine. Like that match was like it was a bloodbath, just constant stuff going on, just constant feasting, and just why not just like go all into it, you know, just. Unleash yourself.
What actually surprised me about the double spy was Frisbee got cap time on last, and it was ×1, which to me would just tell the government, like, yes, they have a spy back capping, and you can expect that spy to want to like back cap 2 as well. So I'm surprised they weren't more ready for.
I mean, at ×1 on second, I don't think they were not expecting the ×2 on second.
Yeah, I suppose
that's the thing I gotta say.
Yeah. Outside of that. Math was getting mad at some feeds.
Steve, walk me through the times you killed yourself tonight. I'm curious to hear about that.
It's I'm an invite player, by the way, so I just randomly kill myself for no reason.
The way this game is developed.
Yeah, I mean that's just 20.
There's honestly no explanation other than just like brain fart. Like seriously. I just want a pencil. Match. I just want a pencil jump so bad.
You just want a pencil, and they're not letting you do it. Fair enough. Yeah, high stakes match, a lot on the line here. I can understand getting a little mentally overwhelmed, killing yourself a lot. It happened to me very often back in my main days.
Yeah, back when I was like a main player, it would happen on occasion.
Yep. You're an invite player nowadays. I didn't mean for that to be so offensive. My bad.
Yeah.
Any cool questions, Rumpus? To segue off of that.
I don't know actually. I do want to address some misinformation from the last Rome interview we had, where Vio was mentioning Steve as a main move up, which he is not, unfortunately. As much as the Cinderella story would be nice. He moved up. He played main the season before playing invite.
Right.
But if you recall, multiple advanced teams that you and Steve played on much prior to that.
Right. You are right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's definitely a gray area, because on a technicality, I didn't move up from main. We played it for like a few seasons in a row.
By technicality, you're a main medic, Steve. Is that better?
Have you improved since main, Steve?
I've lost track.
Yeah, be honest.
I've gotten a bit better. Maybe like a little bit.
One thing I actually did want to ask a little bit about, didn't see any quickies from Mig tonight. Where were they?
I honestly didn't notice. It's just like, I don't think he doesn't really say whether he's like coming up quickies or not, so I don't really look out for it either. He didn't mention anything about it, so.
It's a spur of the moment thing? You guys don't have set plays around the quickies on mids?
It's spur of the moment. Yeah.
Oh wow, surprising. Okay, cool.
I think we're definitely defaulting to just not using it though. I've been noticing.
I'd love to hear that.
Probably good. Yeah. Respect to the Biss. He's a pioneer, but I am not a quickies believer.
They're certainly viable in certain situations if you want to like flex into it, but
I think they're viable for like about 10 seconds in those situations, and then afterwards, like you need those 10 seconds to be the best of 10 seconds of your life.
Well, the thing is those 10 seconds always happen on Monday. I don't know what the correlation is, but for some reason, MIG, when it is Monday, those 10 seconds last an hour.
Man, I really don't want to. No, I'm not gonna say it.
No, go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Don't want to say it.
Go right ahead.
I have not seen Rome win on a Monday. I'm sorry, I haven't. I know it's MIG Monday, but I haven't seen it. It's always the Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
Is
They
it because
throw
we
the
don't play
crazy
on
upsets.
Mondays, Wild Rumpus?
I've seen some Monday matches.
Check
and I don't
last Monday. Go ahead, Rumpus. You're getting checked right
I'm
now.
opening logs.
Check.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a full believer in Mig Monday, but Mig Monday is just 1/6 of the team, right?
Was Mig Monday not when they played the Fireball team? Maybe I'm remembering
They did
wrong
play
here.
against the Fireball team on a Monday because I remember Fireball having a Twitch stream title related to Mig Monday. You guys have any other days? Is it like Steve Sunday?
We talked about it, but nothing's official. It
I
might
haven't done
be
the
leaning too
paperwork
much
yet.
into the bit, and be forcing it.
Potentially, yeah. Mig Monday is definitely more organic. All right, then. I don't know if you have anything else, Math. Otherwise, we can just run through some shout-outs and sign off here.
Yeah, what's your favorite class?
You're asking me my favorite class?
I don't have anything. I don't have anything else to add.
I like engineer.
Well said. All right, any shout-outs, Steve?
Obviously, shout out to my team. You guys clutched up hard. We never played like Sunshine. This is like the second or third time this season we played it.
You coper.
I'm coping. How's that Cope won? Shout out to the Heroes of Maine. Shout out to... Actually, don't shout out McGround, but that's it.
Who's next?
Oh, you're done, Steve?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm very sure.
Oh, okay. Fine. Math, any shout-outs?
Yeah, I do actually have some shout-outs tonight. Shout out production. Dr. Underscore doing a great job as always. Wild Rumpus for casting tonight, giving me the spotlight to really bring my voice to this game. I had a fantastic time. Thank you so much for joining me. Shout out Steve, longtime friend. Shout out Rome, the government, Mopsy in particular, the glue.
True.
Last shout out gonna be Brody.
There you go. Yeah, of course, shout outs production, Dr. Underscore. Shout outs to Mopsy, of course, the glue. Glue recognizes glue. And then shout outs to Kyle Flet Show, who was on that team. Illy Tree, Loaf, Math, myself, of course. And yeah, I think that covers it.
Everybody.
All right, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll probably send you off to some RGL is just finished up. Oh, map 3. Perfect. All right. Yeah.
Oh my
See
God.
you guys over there. And yeah, congrats to Rome.